Look, I'd like to welcome you all to the presentation of Golden Dragon Mining. My name is Rod Grivas. I'm the chair of Golden Dragon, and also on the call is Simon Buswell-Smith, who will give the majority of the presentation. But by way of introduction, we're both geologists. My background is principally gold exploration in Western Australia. And so this project is of particular interest to me as a non-executive chair with geological background. I'm excited by the opportunity. I'm excited by the location of where it's located. It's in the dress circle of the Murchison, so it's perfectly located. And then the other point I want to make before I hand to Simon is that this is going to be a good IPO because we're ready to start exploration as soon as the IPO is complete. In particular, we have drill-ready targets, which we're both, and the rest of the board is extremely excited to be getting into. I don't want to steal any more of Simon's thunder, so I will hand it over to you and be available for questions at the end of the call. Simon.
Thanks, Rod. Yeah, thanks very much for the intro. Yeah, as Rod mentioned, I'm also a geologist. So we've got two geologists on the board, and we both complement each other quite well. And again, I've got quite a good experience in the in Western Australia goldfields, the Archean gold. So yeah, and our major project is in Kew, which is Archean gold. So I think we've got a good skill set there to drive the project forward. This slide that we're looking at currently is just the company update where we're currently at. Basically, we're very close to getting on the cusp of listing on the ASX. So we've completed the independent geology report, and we've ticked all the boxes, and we're ready to go. And we think it's a great project, and we'll go into detail on that. So why do we think it's a good project? Well, it's just in the right location. So it's in Australia, so low risk, sovereign risk there, and then it's in the Archean gold. So it's ticking a few boxes already, and then even more so, it's like Rod was mentioning, not only is it in the right address, but it's also we've got drill ready targets. So we're on the cusp of we think we can get some define some resources pretty quickly as soon as we get on the ground running. So that touched on the board just there. Both myself and Rod are online, but we also have Frank and Sam, so that they bring in the IPO and the capital execution there. So, but the very seasoned campaigner. Frank's been listed many companies, and Sam's been instrumental with Black Cat Syndicate as well. So we think we've got a well-balanced board there where we've got the technical and then also the capital and the IPO execution there as well. So really, really great board to work for as well. So yeah, we all get along really well, which is also handy. Gold price, we won't dwell on this. Everyone knows the gold price has run, but what is of interest is right on the end of that stable period. That is when we acquired this great project. So we were contemplating switching tact, and we thought that gold was a great place to be, but we weren't anticipating such a breakout that we've experienced. But we'll take it. And furthermore, we think gold's got a little bit more to run. But even if it stays at these prices, there's exceptional money to be made if we can define some resources pretty quickly. So the Kew project, where is it? Like touched on, it's in Western Australia. Why is this such a good area? It's Archean gold. And just in Murchison alone, there's been 35 million ounces discovered, and there's plenty more to be discovered. And they're mining right now. There's mines right near us, mining a lot of gold, million ounce deposits nearby. So it's in a fantastic address, and we'll drill down on that a little bit more. So here are our neighbours. I'll just get all these dot points up so you can have a bit of a look at that. But basically, there's been a lot happening in the Murchison. If anyone who's followed it a little bit closely, you'll know that Spartan has been taken over by Ramlis, so they're in the blue there, and you can see that they've got quite a big land holding there. But what I would also like to bring to your attention is our land holding. It is huge. We've got 600 square kilometres of greenstone belt, so it's not just in the granites, the pink area there. It's in the right rocks. It's in the greenstone belt, and we've got a large land holding. Not only that, we've got all the mill capacity around us, and also we've got million ounce deposits all around us. So we think we're in a really hot area with the potential to find a big deposit. But whether or not that will happen, we'll wait and see. But we're ticking those fundamentals of being in the right address, got great neighbours, and we think we're on the pathway to being one of these big players. Hopefully, who knows? So next slide. Like I was saying before, right rocks. So what does that all mean? If you look down to the bottom there of that image, you can see Big Bell. That's a 5 million ounce deposit, and they're currently mining there. Westgold are currently mining there, and we're along strike of that Big Bell shear zone. So the Big Bell shear zone, you can see, continues up, but not only that, you can see multiple deep-seated structures there. That for a geologist, this is geology 101 for Archean gold. You want these big deep-seated structures, and we've got them. We've got two of them, in fact, and then you've got secondary structures as well. So these are the areas that you want to be focusing on for gold discoveries. And then furthermore, if you look at the image just in a broad sense, you can see the gold that has been discovered on our tenure is very proximal to these structures. So it's fantastic. It's proving proof of concept, basically, that the big structures hold the gold, and we've got them on our tenure. So this is just a drilled in section. So I'll just flick back to that slide. So this is a zoomed in area of the Barrenboy area, right in the middle of our tenure. So I'll go back into there. So Barrenboy has got multiple areas of gold anomalism, and on kilometre scale. So we've recently picked up 2 tenements there, those tiny little tenements there, but they may be small, but they were very important from a strategic point of view. It holds a lot of gold in the Kudari area. So that is one of our first immediate walk-up drill targets, but we've got other areas such as Curtis Fine as well. So we think that we've got multiple areas which are on the cusp of being able to define resources there. So it's very exciting. We've got multiple areas to follow up on and build up a resource base. So this is just a little bit more further in on that strategic M that we acquired just very recently. So why did we acquire it? Because the reason being is there's lots of gold that's been discovered there. Victory Metals recently had it, and we've purchased through them essentially, and they couldn't really do much more. They drilled it and they had really great success, but they only had that small M, so they were a bit hamstrung there. But now that Golden Dragon now own this M and also the surrounding tenure, it opens up the door there to hopefully find some resources or further resources. And then another area of interest is Stockyard East. So again, we've got kilometre scale drilling and kilometre scale gold anomalism. So it's about 1.2 by 300 metres wide. And again, historic air core drilling has been reasonably successful. But it's worth noting that a lot of this drilling was done in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. The last campaign was in 2010, but gold price, as that graph that you saw earlier suggests, it just wasn't as high. So things that were sub-economic 20 years ago are very economic today. And this is a case point of that. It just hasn't been followed up. That deep hole there, 8 metres at 5.8, there's no drilling underneath that. That's the deepest hole in the whole prospect. So we think there's great opportunity there also to define a resource. And Big Bell North, this is probably an interesting case in the fact that Evolution, we're also JV partners with Enterprise Metal in the early 2020s, 2019 and 2020. That they spent $4 million on the project trying to find another Big Bell, and they were, in my opinion, quite successful. They advanced the conceptual target into a drill-ready target for us. What they did air core, and then they came back in with some diamond drilling. And then what did that diamond drilling tell them? Well, they've got the exact same rocks that are at Big Bell. And not only that, they've also got the same alteration signature and the Pathfinder suite. So what that means is basically it's the exact same sort of geological sequence that you find at Big Bell. So we think there's opportunity there to also follow up on their diamond work. They think that the last report that Evolution wrote on there was that they thought that were proximal to a decent deposit, and they were recommending further work. So another exciting area that we'll follow up on. This slide's just showing the cap structure after we raise hopefully $5 million, and I guess what it's really just trying to highlight here is our market cap and enterprise value is still really quite low, and we'll have $5 million to hopefully build up some resources, and secondly, then it just leaves an enterprise value of under about $4 million. So it's a fantastic opportunity there to get in early, I believe, and hopefully grow our market cap considerably once we start defining resources. So what are we really going to do? As I was sort of suggesting there, it's all about trying to get early stage resources. So we think there's multiple areas where we have that opportunity. I sort of briefly just touched on a few of those, but there's more in the bank as well that I haven't really alluded to. I've just shown the first few that we're going to hit, but there's other areas such as Jeffreys Well and on it goes. But yeah, our main focus is RC and air core drilling to define resources at Kudari and Curtis Find, and also the Berrinbore area of Large, and then also looking at Stockyard East to follow up on that fantastic intersection at depth as well. So indicative timeline, like I said, we're on the cusp of IPO, which is great. The prospectus is just about to be lodged either today or Monday, and then we'll open up for the IPO, and then hopefully be listing in October. And then that's just about all I've got to say, but Rod might interject if I've forgotten anything there. Rod?
Yeah, just to summarise what Simon's been saying here is that it's all about the location. We're not exploring out beyond the out the back of nowhere. We're exploring in a seasoned belt. Gold price has moved significantly. Back when I was involved probably 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago with gold discoveries that I've made in WA, we were dealing with gold price at $250 an ounce, if you can believe that. So to be exploring in an environment where you've got $3,500 worth is even hard to say. It's an amazing opportunity, and we think that with the ground holding of 600 square k's, that we can find a standalone resource which we can mine and operate ourselves. But if hypothetically we're not successful in that scenario and we find 50 to 100,000 ounces, let's say, that still has significant value in this belt, because the mills are large and hungry, and if you've got anything with a bit of grade, 50,000, 100,000 ounces with the grade, the grade that we're seeing at the Victory that Simon was talking about is around the 3 grams, and so anything like that has value for the producers. The margins that they're making on their production are significant, 50% above their operating margins. And so there's significant value. As a backstop, there's a huge opportunity here. So we think the other point I want to make is, as Simon's made as well, is that this is not a raise $5 million and then sit on our hands and do nothing or not do much. Where there's a lot of drill-ready targets, and so we're going to get out there, and shareholders will see regular announcements about the success of those programs. And so I think it's a great opportunity for investors to get in and support the IPO. I don't know how we do this, Bella, but have we got questions that you can send us, or are people going to ask questions live?
I can ask the questions and you
Perfect.
answer the question. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can ask the question at the end of the presentation, or you're happy to answer it right now?
I think we've ended the presentation. We wanted to make it short and sweet and hit the high notes and give people an opportunity to ask any questions they have and answer them.
Okay, good. So the first question is, any idea where the gold price can go?
Look, I can give you a view. I'm sure Simon can give a view, and I'm sure the person who asked the question's got the view. It's got a view of themselves. It's a pretty unstable political environment the globe is in at the moment. I'm nearly 60 years of age, and I think this is the most unstable political environment that I've seen in my lifetime. And so in those environments, gold price is the safe haven. With what's happening in the US, with what's happening with US currency, with what's happening with Ukraine and so forth, the opportunity for gold to break out further, I think that's normally historically what happens, and I don't see any reason why this price is a floor and it can go higher. I'm not going to predict what it's going to be, but as I said, when I was a junior geologist and we were exploring for gold in Western Australia with a $250 gold price, this is just extraordinary. It unlocks a huge amount of value of resources around Western Australia that are existing or were considered lower grade or considered too small or considered too remote. This just unlocks all those opportunities. And to be honest, that's what you've seen over the last decade. There's been a lot of brownfields discoveries of new resources or expanding of existing resources, left, right, and centre, right across WA, and that's the opportunity where we find ourselves.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, which project stands out in the use of IPO proceeds?
Simon?
Hopefully I was pretty concise in highlighting that the Q project's our flagship, and within that we've got, like what Rod was alluding to, we've got multiple areas where we think we've got a really good opportunity to generate resources quite quickly. So yeah, the Berrinbore area, the larger Berrinbore area is probably the highlight, the jewel in the crown within Q, but it's the Q project. Yes, we do have two other projects which I haven't even talked about in this presentation, being Stellar Range and Fence Line. But yeah, our main focus is gold, and the other projects are more PGE and nickel based. But yeah, we're focused on gold, and reason for it is the gold price has gone up something like 40% this year, and as Rod was sort of talking to before, where will it end? Who knows? But we think there's a great opportunity if we find resources of any scale. There's a good opportunity there to profit from that quite quickly. Yeah,
I think I think the other, just to add to that, so in the use of funds, more than 80% of the funds that we're raising are going to the Q project.
Yeah,
That's where we're going to first. I think you'll hear the name Kudati a number of times. It's the first target that we're actually going to go and test, and it's where we have non-JORC resources which we intend to grow outside the mining lease that Simon was referring to, and so that's our first go-to. But it's not a one-trick pony. There are numerous drill-ready targets. Stockyard East, as Simon's referred to. So there's numerous other targets that we will hit as well. But that's our Kudati is the go-to.
Thank you. So do you have any estimation on the resources if you have to guess?
I'm not about guessing. I can give an idea of range if you like. We, as geologists, we look at lots of things, and we see a significant opportunity, as we've said, to drill Kudati and add hundreds of thousands of ounces to it. But when you're this close to Big Bell, when you're on a shear, deep-seated shear, as Simon has said, there is no reason why there can't be a world-class deposit discovered within the 600 square kilometres, and by world-class, we're talking 1.25 million ounces. Now, I can't promise it, of course, but there's no reason why that's not sitting somewhere within our ground holding. And then, as I said, as a backstop, even a small resource has value to the producers in the region.
Thank you. So what will be some of the milestones that we can expect it after IPO and time?
Go, Simon.
You want to? I'm just so motivated to bring this project out of the blow the dust off it, and once we've got one resource, I think then people will really start taking notice of us that this ground is highly fertile and has potential to hold resources. I think it's Rod was sort of asked how many ounces and etc. It is a massive unknown, but we're in the right address. So that's our milestone, is to get resources, get noticed, and then you totally get re-rated then when you've got resources under your belt, and then just grow those resources. And I think it's got that potential to get to that million ounce, that magic million ounce number. We just got to do the hard work to do that. Yeah.
I think to put it in a slightly different way with regards to milestones, I think as shareholders, assuming you take up the IPO, but as shareholders, I think you're going to see early on, soon after we've completed and raised the funds, drill rigs on Q, delivering results. There's no reason why, given successful drilling, we can't put a resource within a 12-month period. So I think that this is a stock that you shouldn't be buying just to sell straight away. I think you should be buying to hold on to, and give us, particularly Simon, the opportunity to show the market, to show shareholders the potential of Q. And I think that timeline and those milestones will come from that, and that takes 6, 12, 18 months, 2 years to really cement what is the potential of this project.
Thanks. And I think the answer is related to the next question. How do you expect the market to understand your valuation over the next 1 to 2 years?
Well, exploration, this is when you look at the capital structure, most of our valuation, our EV, is under 4 million. Now, I think that's a pretty cheap offering for shareholders. but time will tell. The valuation is going to be dependent on the success of drilling Kudati. But it is nice to have numerous targets to drill. I've done numerous IPOs where we've been an exploration company and we haven't got to the drill target stage yet. This is a nice situation to be in, where we can rely on the historical work to be able to come up and drill pretty well straight away. So the milestones and the valuations will come from that, the success of the drilling. But there's no reason why we shouldn't see a significant increase in valuations over the short to medium term.
I'll further add, with the gold price right now, if you can't make money on your resources now, your resources aren't that of good quality, and even if the gold price goes down another $1,000, it's still magnitudes up to like of where it has been. So there's still good meat on the bone. Even if gold price does go down a little bit, we should still be able to establish economically viable resources in the Q area, I believe. Yep.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how does the gold price volatility impact your revenue, and how do you mitigate that risk?
I think the point to make here is that we are an exploration company, and so revenue comes about from successfully finding a resource and then taking it to production. And so we're not talking about a revenue vehicle here. Gold price, though, has a significant impact on the success of the company. And that's why in these situations where you see a significant increase in gold price over the last 12 months to 2 years, that unlocks a hell of a lot of value. When you're talking about a gold price of 2,000, which, as Simon says, is still significant, and you're factoring a gold price of 3,500, that suddenly unlocks a significant amount of value from an exploration company's point of view. It means that we have more capacity to explore. We have the capital markets are available to raise additional funds, and so the revenues are going to come from the success of the exploration and being able to develop the resources into mines.
Thank you, Rod. The next question is, if the company have any business expansion beyond Australia, and if so, what's the situation in these other markets?
Not at this stage, no.
Yeah.
But you go, Rob.
Yeah, look, the focus is Western Australia, and the hardest thing about exploring in Western Australia is getting access to ground. And the team has done an amazing job, Simon and Frank and Sam, to acquire this package of ground that we've got, particularly the Q project. And so we don't see any reason why we would expand our exposure elsewhere at this stage. I mean, it's never off the cards, but our focus is clearly seeing what Q can produce, and then look at other opportunities as we grow and it grows.
Thank you. The next question is, what are the company's core strategies around sustainability and ESG?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, we're just like every other exploration company. We go through all the right channels to engage with traditional owners early in the piece, which we've done so already at the Q tenure, and also Stellar Range as well. But so it's in our best benefit to have a great relationship with the traditional owners. And as far as environmental and sustainability goes, we're pretty light company. Like we're just doing exploration at this point in time, and then if and when hopefully we get to a point where we're at the mine stage, yeah, we will look at all opportunities that are available to lower that footprint on the environment. And Western Australia as a whole is just pretty darn good at trying when we're mining. It's not like we've just started mining yesterday. There's hundreds of gold mines in Western Australia, so we know how to mine efficiently and effectively with the lowest impact on the environment and in a sustainable manner. And that's changing, forever evolving with the electrification of trucks and everything like that. So and solar as a form rather than diesel. So we'll look at all of those options when they come, when required. But at the moment, we're just in the exploration phase. So we try and minimise our impact to the environment as much as we possibly can. And there's multiple ways to do that. And it's by doing smart exploration as well, not just going out and all this drilling the whole area. We use every tool in our kit to hone in on the targets and to disturb as little as possible.
Thank you, Simon and Rod. Thank you for all your time today. And if any investors has any interest or question about GDR, please contact Tiger Broker client service, and they will give back to you with more information. And let's wait for a few minutes, see if any questions come in.
Likewise, we're also available, Bella. Simon's contact details, I think, are on the last slide. We're available to talk, keen to talk, excited to talk about the project with anyone who has further interest.
Yeah, maybe we can just move to that page.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for the contact information.
Yeah, that's good.
You got Sam and Frank's details there as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, looks like there's no more questions for now.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for their time. It's always difficult doing it through Zoom. I prefer to do it face to face where we can see everybody, but appreciate everyone's time. And thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Same with me. Thanks very much for those who were listening, and I hope you enjoyed it and are excited as we are to get out there and explore the Q project. Thank you.